Smart English Studio.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Smart English Studio.
Today's lesson is about 3 very small words in English.
Small words, but very powerful words.
Be, been, and being.
Many English learners see these words and think, oh no, grammar again.
But don't worry, today we are not going to make grammar scary.
No long rules.
No complicated charts.
No stress.
Just real English, real situations, and simple explanations.
By the end of this lesson, you will understand when people use be, been, and being in everyday conversation.
You may not feel perfect.
But you will feel more confident, and confidence is more important than perfection.
Exactly.
So listen slowly, repeat useful sentences, and remember, English is not a test. English is a tool for connection. Let's begin.
I want to start with something simple.
Good. Simple is always good.
When learners hear be, been, and being, they often think these words are almost the same.
Yes, because they look similar and they sound similar.
But they do different jobs.
Exactly. They help us talk about different moments.
That's a nice way to explain it. Not grammar moments, life moments.
Yes, be can talk about goals, advice, instructions, and future ideas.
Been often talks about experience or something that started before and still matters now.
And being often talks about behavior happening now or around now.
So if we make it very simple,
Be is often about a goal, advice, or a general idea.
been is often about experience or time before now.
Being is often about behavior or something happening now.
Good. Let's start with be.
Be is the base form.
It is simple, but it is everywhere in English.
We use be when we talk about what we want, what we should do, or how someone should act.
For example, I want to be confident.
That is a very useful sentence for English learners.
I want to be confident.
You are not saying, I am confident now.
You are talking about a goal.
Exactly, something you want in the future.
Another example, I want to be fluent in English.
That sentence is emotional.
Yes, because it shows hope.
You're saying, this is the person I want to become.
So be can help you talk about dreams.
I want to be successful.
I want to be calmer.
I want to be more confident.
I want to be better at speaking English.
Very natural.
Now, we also use be in advice.
For example, be careful.
Be patient.
Be kind.
Be honest.
Be yourself.
These are short sentences, but they are very common.
A parent might say, be careful.
A teacher might say, be quiet, please.
A friend might say, be honest with me.
And a motivational poster might say, be yourself.
Very true. So, be is often used when we tell someone how to act.
Yes, it gives direction.
Let's imagine a real situation.
Okay,
You're starting a new job. You're nervous.
very real situation.
Your friend says, don't worry, be friendly, be open, and be ready to learn.
That sounds natural.
Here, be is used for advice.
Be friendly.
Be open.
Be ready to learn.
Very useful for everyday English. Now let's move to been.
This is the word that often scares learners.
Yes, people see been and think, I don't know where to put it.
But let's make it simple. Been often talks about experience.
Something happened before now.
Or something started before and is still connected to now.
For example, I have been busy today.
That means your day has been full.
Maybe you were busy in the morning,
Maybe you were busy in the afternoon.
and now you feel tired.
So the past is connected to now.
Exactly. Another example, I have been learning English for 2 years.
That is a beautiful sentence.
It shows time.
It shows effort.
It shows a journey.
You started before,
and you are still learning now.
That is why been is so useful.
It helps us talk about our journey.
I have been practicing.
I have been listening.
I have been trying.
I have been improving.
These sentences are powerful because they show progress.
And progress is important.
Yes.
You don't need to be perfect, you just need to keep going.
Let's also use been for life experience.
For example, I have been to London.
That means you visited London before,
You are not there now.
but you have that experience.
Another example, I have been to that restaurant.
That means you visited it before.
You know the place.
You have the experience.
So been often answers the question, have you experienced this before?
Have you been to London?
Have you been to the UK?
Have you been nervous before an interview?
Have you been tired after work?
Have you been confused by English grammar?
Yes, many times.
Same here.
Now, one important thing, been usually needs have or has.
Yes, don't leave been alone.
We don't usually say, I been tired.
We say, I have been tired.
Or shorter, I've been tired.
We don't say, she been busy,
We say, she has been busy.
or she's been busy.
That is a very common spoken English form.
I've been busy.
She's been tired.
We've been learning.
They've been waiting.
Good. Now let's talk about being.
Being is very interesting because it often talks about behavior.
Especially temporary behavior.
Temporary means not forever.
Just now, today, or around this moment.
For example, you are being very quiet today.
That doesn't mean you are always quiet.
It means today you are quieter than usual.
Something is different.
Exactly. Compare these two sentences.
You are quiet,
That sounds like personality. Maybe you are a quiet person.
but you are being quiet.
That sounds like behavior right now. Maybe today you are quieter than usual.
That difference is important.
Very important. Another example. He is rude,
That sounds like his character.
but he is being rude.
That means right now his behavior is rude.
Maybe he is not always like that.
Exactly. Being leaves space for change.
That is a nice way to explain it. Being leaves space for change. Let's use kind.
She is kind.
That means kindness is part of her character.
She is being kind.
That means she is doing something kind right now. Maybe she is helping someone.
Maybe she is being patient.
Maybe she is being supportive.
Good.
Now let's use being with honesty.
I'm being honest with you.
That means right now I am speaking honestly.
This is very common in conversation.
People say, I'm being honest.
I'm being serious.
I'm being careful.
I'm being realistic.
These phrases are useful because they show your attitude in the moment.
Let's make a real conversation.
Okay,
Eva, can I be honest with you?
of course.
I have been tired this week.
I noticed you've been quieter than usual.
Yes, I think I'm being a bit stressed today.
That sounds natural.
We used all three.
Be honest,
Have been tired,
being stressed.
and it sounds like real life, not a grammar exercise.
Exactly.
Let's create another example with English learning.
Good idea.
I want to be fluent in English.
I have been practicing every day.
And now I'm being more confident when I speak.
That is a perfect learning journey.
Be is the goal.
Been is the effort.
Being is the change happening now.
Beautiful. Let's repeat that slowly.
Be is the goal.
Been is the effort.
Being is the change happening now.
If learners remember this, the words will feel much easier.
Yes.
Now let's talk about mistakes.
Mistakes are normal.
Very normal.
Actually, mistakes show that you are trying.
Exactly, so don't feel embarrassed.
Let's take a common mistake.
Some learners say, I am been tired.
The meaning is understandable, but the grammar needs help.
The correct sentence is, I have been tired.
Or, I've been tired.
Another mistake, I being happy today.
We need am.
I am being positive today.
Or, more naturally, I'm trying to be positive today.
Good. Sometimes English has a more natural version.
Yes, grammar can be correct, but natural English is another layer.
That's important. Another mistake, I want being confident.
The correct sentence is, I want to be confident.
Because after want, we often say to be.
I want to be confident.
I want to be better.
I want to be fluent.
I want to be ready.
Very useful. Now let's make a simple memory trick.
Good.
Be goal or advice.
I want to be confident.
Be careful.
Been. Experience or journey.
I have been to London.
I have been learning English.
Being. Behavior now.
You are being quiet.
I'm being honest.
Perfect.
Now let's continue with more real-life examples, because the more you hear be, been, and being in natural sentences, the easier they become.
Exactly. You don't learn these words by memorizing one rule. You learn them by hearing them again and again in real situations.
Let's imagine you are having a difficult week.
Very realistic.
You might say, I have been tired this week.
That means the tired feeling started earlier and is still important now.
Then your friend says, please be kind to yourself.
Here, be is advice.
And then you say, I know. I'm being too hard on myself.
Here, being describes your behavior right now.
So one situation gives us all three words.
I have been tired.
Be kind to yourself.
I'm being too hard on myself.
Very useful.
And very human.
Let's talk about work.
Good idea. Work situations are full of these words.
Imagine it is your first day at a new job.
You feel nervous.
Your friend says, just be yourself.
That means don't pretend to be someone different.
Be yourself.
Simple, natural, and very common.
Then, after your first day, someone asks, how has it been?
That is a very natural question.
How has it been means what has your experience been like so far?
You can answer, it has been good, but a little stressful.
Or shorter, it's been good, but a little stressful.
Very common spoken English.
Then maybe your manager says, you're being very careful with your work, and that's good.
That means right now, in this new situation, you are acting carefully.
So again,
Be yourself.
it's been good.
You're being careful.
3 small words, 3 different meanings.
Let's explain it's been good.
Yes, this is a very useful phrase.
When someone asks, how has your day been? They are asking about your day from the beginning until now.
You can answer, it's been good.
It's been busy.
It's been difficult.
It's been interesting.
It's been a long day.
That last one is very common.
Very common. People say it's been a long day when they feel tired because many things happened.
So instead of saying only I'm tired, you can say it's been a long day.
That sounds more natural and more conversational.
Let's do a mini dialogue.
Okay.
How has your day been?
It's been busy but good.
Have you been working all day?
Yes, I've been answering emails and preparing for a meeting.
You're being very organized today.
I'm trying to be.
Nice. That sounds natural.
And we used been, being, and be without making it feel like a grammar lesson.
Exactly. Let's talk about relationships now.
Good. These words are very useful when we talk about people.
Imagine your friend is usually cheerful, but today they seem quiet.
You might say, you're being very quiet today. Is everything okay?
That sounds caring.
Yes, because you aren't saying you are quiet like it is their whole personality.
You are noticing their behavior today.
Being makes the sentence softer.
Exactly. Let's compare.
You are rude.
That sounds strong.
Maybe even hurtful.
But your being rude means your behavior right now is rude.
It gives the person a chance to change.
That is why being is useful in emotional conversations.
It can make difficult conversations softer.
Another example. You're being unfair.
That means right now your behavior or decision feels unfair.
You're being impatient.
That means right now you are acting impatiently.
You're being very supportive.
That means right now you are helping me emotionally.
So being is not always negative.
No, not at all. You can say, you're being kind.
You're being helpful.
You're being honest.
You're being brave.
Beautiful. Let's make a mini dialogue.
Okay. You seem a bit quiet today. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. I've just been thinking a lot.
About what?
About my English. I want to be more confident, but sometimes I feel nervous.
That's normal. You've been practicing a lot, and you're improving.
I know, but I think I'm being impatient with myself.
Maybe you are. Be patient. Learning takes time.
That was a perfect example.
Yes, it used been for what has happened recently,
B for advice.
being for behavior right now.
Let's repeat the useful sentences.
I've been thinking a lot.
I want to be more confident.
I'm being impatient with myself.
Be patient.
Learning takes time.
Very nice.
Now let's talk about been with places.
Good. This is one of the most common uses.
When we talk about places we visited before, we often use have been to.
For example, I have been to London.
I have been to Paris.
I have been to Italy.
I have been to that cafe.
It means you visited that place before.
But you're not there now.
Exactly.
If you are there now, you say, I am in London.
But if you visited before, you say, I have been to London.
This difference is important.
Let's compare.
I am in London.
That means now.
I have been to London.
That means experience before now.
Good.
What about, I have gone to London?
Good question. That can mean the person went there and maybe they are still there or not back yet.
So for life experience, I have been to London is safer and more common.
Exactly. Let's do a travel conversation.
Okay.
Have you been to Scotland?
Yes, I've been to Edinburgh once.
How was it?
It was beautiful. I've been wanting to go back.
Nice sentence. I've been wanting to go back.
That means the feeling started before and still exists now.
So, I've been wanting means I have wanted it for some time.
Exactly.
Let's give more examples.
I've been thinking about learning Spanish.
I've been trying to wake up earlier.
I've been looking for a new job.
I've been watching English videos every day.
These sentences are very useful because they talk about recent activity.
Something started before now and continues or still matters.
Exactly. Now let's talk about pronunciation.
Good. These words are small, so pronunciation matters.
Be,
Been.
being.
Be is very short.
Be.
Been can sound like been in British English.
And in American English, many people say been like been too, though you may hear been with a longer sound.
Being has 2 syllables.
Being. Being.
Don't make it too heavy.
Yes, say it smoothly. Being.
I'm being honest.
You're being quiet.
She's being helpful.
Very natural.
Now let's practice short answers.
Great. Short answers help learners speak faster.
Have you been busy?
Yes, I have.
Have you been tired?
A little, yes.
Have you been practicing English?
Yes, every day.
Do you want to be fluent?
Of course.
Are you being patient with yourself?
I'm trying.
That is a very natural answer.
I'm trying.
Learners can use that a lot.
Yes, if someone asks, are you being careful? You can say, I'm trying.
If someone asks, are you trying to be more confident? You can say, I'm trying.
Simple and useful.
Now let's talk about the phrase being yourself.
Ah, yes, very common.
We often say, just be yourself.
This means don't pretend to be someone else.
But we can also say, I'm being myself.
That means right now I am acting naturally.
For example, before a video or interview, someone might say, just be yourself.
And after the interview, you might say, I was just being myself.
Exactly. So, be yourself is advice.
Being myself describes how you acted.
Very useful.
Now let's talk about been there.
Good phrase.
When someone says, I've been there, they may mean they had the same experience.
Not always a place.
Exactly. Sometimes it means emotionally, I understand because I experienced that too.
For example, a learner says, I'm scared to speak English.
And someone answers, I've been there.
That means, I understand, I felt that before.
Very natural.
Another example, I feel nervous before interviews.
I've been there. It gets easier.
That is kind and supportive.
Yes, I've been there is a very human phrase.
Let's explain it clearly.
I've been there can mean I have experienced the same thing.
It helps you show empathy.
Empathy means you understand someone's feelings.
Good word.
Let's make a mini dialogue.
I feel embarrassed when I make mistakes in English.
I've been there, but mistakes help you learn.
That makes me feel better.
Good. That is exactly how the phrase works.
Now let's talk about being able to.
Good. This is useful for ability.
People say, I want to be able to speak naturally.
That means I want to have the ability to speak naturally.
I want to be able to understand films.
I want to be able to talk to native speakers.
I want to be able to explain my ideas.
Very useful for learners.
It sounds more specific than just, I want to speak English.
Yes, I want to be able to is great for goals.
Let's practice.
I want to be able to speak without translating.
I want to be able to listen to podcasts.
I want to be able to write new words in my notebook.
I want to be able to practice every morning.
And being?
I'm being more confident when I speak.
I'm being more patient with myself.
I'm being brave and trying anyway.
Beautiful.
Let's now do a confidence section.
Good. Learners need this.
Many learners say, I want to be fluent, but I'm not good enough.
But that sentence can become more positive.
Yes, say, I want to be fluent, and I have been improving.
That changes the feeling.
It reminds you that you are moving forward.
Another negative thought is, I make mistakes, so I'm bad at English.
Better, I'm making mistakes because I'm learning.
Or I'm being brave by speaking.
That is very powerful.
Yes, speaking with mistakes is still speaking.
And speaking is how you improve.
Exactly.
Let's say this slowly.
I want to be fluent.
I have been practicing.
I am being brave.
Very nice.
That could be the main message of the lesson.
Yes, I want to be fluent. I have been practicing. I am being brave.
Simple, emotional, and useful.
Now let's do a final natural dialogue using many examples.
Great.
Daniel, have you ever felt nervous speaking another language?
Yes, many times. I've been nervous in shops, at airports, and even with friends.
Really?
Yes, I wanted to be perfect, so I was afraid to speak.
I understand. I've been there.
But then I realized something important.
What?
People don't need you to be perfect, they need you to communicate. So I started being more relaxed.
How did you do that?
I stopped judging every sentence. I started using simple words.
That's good advice.
Yes, be clear, be simple, be brave.
I like that.
And if you don't know a word, be honest. Say, I don't know the exact word, but I mean...
That is very useful.
Yes, you can still communicate.
So learners don't have to wait until their English is perfect.
No, they can start now.
They can be brave now.
They have been learning already.
And they are being more confident by listening and practicing.
Exactly.
That is a beautiful ending. But let's review first. Be is used for goals, advice, and general ideas.
I want to be confident.
Be careful.
Be patient with yourself.
Been is used for experience, journeys, and things connected to now.
I have been busy.
I have been learning English.
I have been to London.
Been is used for behavior or something happening now.
I'm being honest.
You're being quiet today.
I'm being brave.
And remember, these words are not only grammar.
They help you talk about goals, feelings, experience, behavior, and change.
Now we have a question for you.
Complete one of these sentences in the comments.
I want to be.
I have been.
I am being.
For example, I want to be confident in English.
I have been practicing every day.
I am being brave by speaking more.
Write your sentence in the comments.
And don't worry if it is not perfect.
We are learning together.
Thank you for listening to Smart English Studio.
Learn smarter, speak better.
See you in the next lesson.